It's time for the Brouhaha Sports Show. Brouhaha Sports with award-winning sports writer Dale McKee and co-host Marshall Wood. Talking sports with the legends of the game and famous sports personalities. Brouhaha! Now to Marshall and Dale with tonight's guest.
Good evening, everyone. Guess what time it is? No, it's not that time, but it's time to begin the Brouhaha for this week. And Marshall Wood here, Dale McKee, ready to break it down, get down to it, turn it upside down and all around and look at it. Sports. Dale, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Did you have yourself a wonderful day today?
Yes, I did. What about you?
Oh, man. Every day is sunshine.
You know, the only bad thing about the day
What's that?
is sometimes when I get up, I want to get back in the bed.
Oh, really?
Have you ever had that problem?
No, I like to hit the ground running, boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's the difference.
That's a difference. Anyway, you've got plenty of sense.
I do.
That's another difference.
Well, my wife may not agree with you.
Yeah.
She kind of talks under her breath. I can't believe I married this knucklehead.
What was I thinking?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Man, how about them Golden Eagles and that basketball team? We've talked about them, but I can't say that enough. How about them Golden Eagles? I'm so proud of Coach Ladner and what they're doing over there. I hope they don't go disappoint me.
Well, they ought to have a great crowd down there Thursday nights. You know, we've got a very good Louisiana Lafayette team coming in that's won 10 straight. So,
Yeah.
and of course, the Eagles have won 7 straight, and I'm sure they have the biggest crowd of the year. Plus, their girls are going to play like at 5. The boys will play at 7:30. So, anyway, I think it's going to be a great atmosphere down there at Reed Green.
Yes,
And,
sir.
if you can't make it to the game, I know I watched both their games this week on that ESPN Plus app, and so they seem to there's just this point in the game that they take over, and a lot of that is because they're a good passing team, but they play excellent defense and get easy baskets.
Yeah.
So
Ain't no basket like an easy basket, is it?
no, there's really not a dunk's nice, you know.
Yeah.
You know when you dunk it.
Yeah.
Have you ever dunked one?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Double-handed.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, you know when
Of course, I was on a ladder.
Well, I didn't have to get on a ladder when I dunked mine because I bought my sons one of those adjustable goals. It went to 8 feet all the way to 10 feet.
Yeah.
I put it on about 8 and.
Dale, I'd say that's good, Dale. Let me just leave. Let me leave it.
I just wanted to have that feeling of what these people, why they were so excited when they did it.
Yeah.
Of course, I was having to be very careful. I couldn't do some of that running stuff and going down with one.
Yeah.
But you know, I could just maybe take 2 or 3 steps and try to do it. And I did it a few times.
Yeah.
And a few times that ball went straight up in the air about as tall as
How long ago was this?
This was probably when my kids were like maybe 10, 11, 12 years old.
Been a while.
And I didn't want them to develop a bad shot.
Yeah.
Because if they're young like that, say they're 9 or 10 and they're trying to hit it to a 10-foot goal, they have a push mentality.
Yeah.
We'll push the ball up there, and that's not the way you learn to shoot.
Oh,
So I was trying to show them the proper way to shoot, and I said, well, I'll play around with it too a little bit here, see what I can do it. But I was a little bit lighter back in those days.
Yeah.
I didn't have as much. I don't know what I have extra now, difference. I just know that it's hard for me to get up off the floor anymore.
Yeah.
When my wife pushes me down, it's tough. It's tough getting up. I say, can you help me up?
Can you give a little help here? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I want to address another thing you had in your column. And I want, your column is what, your sideline view, your reports is what got me on the Golden Eagles. But I'm not, I'm looking at a former Golden Eagle now. Talking about Jay Hobson. You got here in your sideline view. That he's been hired as a defensive back coach at South Alabama. I always liked Jay. I thought he was a nice guy. I was, really excited about him. It just didn't work out, did it?
Yeah, he was I don't know, it's just one of them things didn't work out for him, and you really thought it was going to work out.
Yeah, thought it was a great hire.
Because a lot of people thought, well, okay, we got a connection back with Coach Bauer.
Yeah.
From that past, and he can connect to those players.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work out, but I agree with you on that because I've met him a few times, and he's just a great Christian.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that makes him special.
I'm really not crazy about it being at South Alabama because you see, I'm not really pro South Alabama being a USM guy.
Well, the story behind that is the head coach down there, Kane Womack, was a player for Hobson when he was at Southern.
Oh.
So that's how that connection did. But I thought Jay had got out of coaching because he was at Mississippi State the last couple of years.
Yeah.
He was doing the work that Steve Campbell and Joy Jones had been hired to do. Steve Campbell, a longtime coach at Gulf Coast, and he coached at Jones Junior College for a while as an assistant. He was at Delta State as a head coach, Central Arkansas as a head coach before he went south, and it didn't work out for him at South Alabama.
Yeah.
Now, Joey Jones is the one that started the South Alabama player. He's a former Alabama player that played up there when Bill Curry was coaching at Alabama. So that's kind of the history behind all those guys. But
That's good information, Dale. You already
did you take notes on that? Okay.
I was taking mental notes, but I'm to the point in my life now where I can't read what I write down and I can't remember what I'm supposed to remember. But I do know this: we got a guest tonight coming. I do know that, and I bet you know who it is.
I do.
Well, tell us.
Well, we have a former NFL football player from Hattiesburg. His name is Larry Whigham, and he is going to be a great guest. He played for the great Bill Parcells up at New England for 7 years, special teamer, and
Two-time Pro Bowler, isn't he?
Two-time Pro Bowler, played the Super Bowl against Brett Favre on the opposite team.
Yeah.
If you remember that in New Orleans around '96. And then he finished up with the Chicago Bears. And so he's going to tell us some tales, and he's got a great story.
I bet he does. I tell you what, you can get him, Dale. So I tell you what, let's take a break here from our sponsor. And then Dale and I'll be back with tonight's guest right after this commercial break.
Phillips Building Supply in Laurel, your hometown building supply store since 1954. We are locally owned and pride ourselves on helping our customers find exactly what they need. From foundations to roofs to doors and windows, Phillips has it. For tools, hardware, lumber, and plywood, visit Phillips Building Supply.
Welcome to the show, Larry. How you doing, Larry, out there, Houston, Texas? Am I correct on that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm doing okay. I'm hanging in there. How you guys doing over there?
We're doing fine, and we had told the people before that you were a Mississippi native from Hattiesburg, and you played a little NFL and won a couple Pro Bowl appearances. Of course, a little different than the Pro Bowl the other night, right?
Yeah, they're not playing the football game anymore. They said they're gonna take out that game, and because guys were complaining about playing so many games, and since they added a new game to the season last year, they took away the Pro Bowl game. So, but it was very exciting, and I hope the fans enjoyed it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, listen, let's talk a little bit about your background, okay? I want you to talk to the people about your Hattiesburg High days, and just tell us all the things that you went through.
Well, it wasn't a whole lot in the beginning. Fortunately, I was, very fragile, and every time I would try to play, I would fracture one of my clavicles. And I did that the first 2 years while I was with the football team, and I asked the coach, can I hang around and help the manager since I had broke my collarbone and couldn't play. And then my senior year, I tried it again, and it worked out pretty good. We had a pretty good team, went to the state championship game, and lo and behold, the Pearl River Wildcats offered me a half scholarship, and seems like my career took off from there.
Tell us about your time at Pearl River.
Oh, man, the same thing happened to me again. First day or 2 days, a former running back from Hattiesburg High who I knew from my neighborhood, Louis Barnes, didn't go right away to Pearl River after high school. He sat out a year, and I guess he was trying out down there, and I came up and hit him on a toss sweep. First, same thing happened, broke my collarbone.
Man.
So I thought it was going to be over, but hey, I did the same thing I did in high school. I went and asked the coach, could I help the managers out? And lo and behold, my high school coach, Willie Coates, had gotten the head coaching job, so he's like, Larry, here we go again. Are you going to stop doing this? And I said, Coach, just give me a shot. I just want to, I want to try to see if next season I can stay healthy and play for you. And he did, and I became a junior college All-American and received a scholarship to Louisiana Monroe.
Oh,
and went over there for 2 years and got drafted into the NFL. It was really a dream come true. It was a real rags to riches story. I was determined, wouldn't give up. My mom tried to get me to stop playing. My coaches tried to get me to stop playing. They said, you're going to break your neck out there. And, well, I asked the doctor one time, I said, would I break my neck if I keep playing football? He said, no, and I think your shoulders are going to be stronger than ever once you get a chance to play. Well, that's all I needed to hear there. And so when I did get my chance to play, played pretty well and got drafted into the NFL.
You sound like one of those guys that I might make the comment, if he weighed 230 pounds, they'd have to make it illegal for him to play because you must have hit everybody with everything you had to break those collarbones.
Yeah. They kind of kicked me out of the league for that. My last year, I got fined $30,000 2 times for helmet contact. So I kind of knew they were kind of getting away from that, and went on and pushed me out of the league. I went ahead and retired. But that was the way that we were taught to play when I played football. The safeties were supposed to separate the player from the ball by anything necessary.
You thought they meant it, didn't you?
You took it to heart, huh?
I took it literally.
Well, tell us about your NFL days. How'd you start out?
Well, I was a cornerback at Louisiana Monroe, and I was a safety at Pearl River. And so when I got to the NFL, they didn't know what position to play me at, and so they started playing me at both. I was playing safety, I was playing corner, I was playing in the slot. And after my Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick days, they went to the Jets after we lost the Super Bowl to Green Bay to Brett Favre. Pete Carroll comes in, and he started using me as the Mike linebacker, the Will linebacker, the Jack linebacker. So we were playing 7 defensive backs, and so I played every position in the secondary in the National Football League. It's kind of unbelievable, but I've lined up in the NFL game at every position in the secondary.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Well, tell us about your start in the NFL. You got drafted by Seattle. Tell us about that experience.
Yeah, I got drafted by Seattle, and when I got out there, I had some wisdom tooth problems and had to go to the dentist and have surgery and had to sit out a couple weeks. And I think that may have, jeopardized my chances of making the team. And so they cut me, and, it was just fortune, I guess. It was God's will. I guess I wasn't supposed to be there because Bill Parcells claimed me off waivers. And I had a great career with the Patriots, playing 7 years. Playing up under all 3 head coaches, Bill Parcells, Pete Carroll, Bill Belichick 2 times. And so I really learned a lot from those great coaches. Didn't get a chance to play defensive back that much, but I found a niche where I could get on the field. And every time I got on the field, I gave more than 100%. And it worked out pretty good. I made the Pro Bowl twice, once in the AFC and once in the NFC. And so I went from high school manager to special teams player of the year in 1998. I was like, God, I know it's only you because I know I couldn't do all this.
Man, you've covered a lot of ground. I want to go back to your draft. Were you having conversations? Did you know you were going to be drafted? And what was that like waiting? And then when the call came?
Well, it was unbelievable going through it. I had a pretty good idea that I was going to get drafted because after college, I got invited to the Blue-Gray All-Star game. And I did pretty good down there. And then I got invited to the East-West Shrine game. Did pretty good out there. Then I got invited to the Hula Bowl. So I was the only college athlete to play in 3 All-Star games that year. But I was trying to let everybody see me if they hadn't saw me yet. So I did pretty good. And the team I played on at Northeast Louisiana Monroe, my junior year, we were number 1 Division I AA team in the country. And 4 guys off of that team got drafted into the NFL, and all of them started as rookies. So we were still friends and talking on the phone, and they telling me, that, I'd probably have a chance. So I hired the agent that had hired two of our running backs. Roosevelt Pott started for the Indianapolis Colts, and Greg Robinson from Grenada started for the Raiders as a rookie. And they both had signed with this agent named Ted Marchibroda Jr. His dad was the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. So I asked my agent, I said, ask your dad, do I have a chance to get drafted? And he said, yeah, you got a mid-grade draft from probably, 2nd round to 7th round. And so I didn't go to the draft, but my college roommate got drafted the first day to the Oakland Raiders, James Folsom, outside linebacker. So I was thinking it was going to happen, but it didn't happen the first day. But it happened the second day, and I was quite thrilled. I fell to my knees crying, thanking God for the opportunity, just the grace and the mercy, because I know many days where I was the joke of a lot of my friends, jokes, but they were like, man, I can't believe you're going to be the team manager. Like, man, don't worry about it. When I go to the Super Bowl, I'm going to offer you some tickets. And, boy, I tell you, boy, when God said he can make your enemies your footstool, man, I'm telling you, he had all those guys that used to brag to me when I called them and offered them Super Bowl tickets. And they were like, I can't believe it. But by the grace of God, it happened.
Well, tell us about that experience on draft day. Were you watching on TV, or were you just doing some normal things?
Yeah, the draft came on about 10 o'clock that morning. I got up, watched the 3rd round, and because the first 2 rounds were the first day. It was when they were having 7 rounds, and so the second day started with the 3rd round. 3rd round went through. Buffalo Bills called me. They said they may get me with the last pick in the 3rd round. They drafted another guy, and so my agent called. He said, just sit tight. I've got him calling about 5 teams, but nobody's picked you yet, so your name's popping right now. It may happen, so stay by the phone. Well, I went and took a shower because I was sweating. My palms were sweating. My face was sweating. My neck I was a mess. And, when I got out of the shower, in my room drying off, and my agent called. He said, I think the Seahawks are going to pick you. And then my name rose across the screen. Larry Whigham, safety, drafted, Seattle Seahawks. Then the phone rang. They called me. It was unbelievable.
Wow.
So I called my mom and shared it with my mom, called my brothers, shared it with them, and just I was really thankful. And then my roommates and my teammates came, and a big party started.
That's awesome.
I bet. Well, listen, that's a great experience. Tell us about some of your great individual moments when you played for the Patriots, since you played for them for 7 years. I mean, just tell us about maybe a game or two that you remember. That's that.
Well, possibly one of my best football games that I played as a defensive back would have to be, because it didn't happen that much. Mostly I was used just on special teams, and if a team were playing 4 and 5 wide, and back in the early 90s, that wasn't happening. They were I formation, toss left, toss right. And so didn't get a chance to play that much, but some guys had gotten injured, and I got a chance to play against Dan Marino, and they were going 4 wide receivers. And, man, he kept coming at me, and I kept picking it off. I had 2 interceptions, 1 for a touchdown. I wouldn't have had it. He probably would have scored a touchdown on me, but he was trying me again. But Jimmy Hitchcock a cornerback for us came over top of me and had a 102-yard interception. Dan Marino was really trying to come after me, but it was possibly my best game as a defensive back in the NFL. And by the time I got in the locker room after the game, Drew Bledsoe had taken the ball, gone into the Miami Dolphins locker room, asked Dan Marino to autograph the ball, put it back in my locker, and I gave it to my mom for a Christmas present.
Wow.
That was her favorite player. So it was that was awesome, man. So just having some fun time with the Patriots.
What a great story. What a great story.
What, you know.
They're unbelievable, man.
Wow.
They're unbelievable. Some of these stories that I have is unbelievable.
Well, listen, you're from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and you know when we get stuff about the Patriots, and you know you get these images or this, I guess it's you think one thing about Belichick, you think one thing about Parcells. We think we have them figured out down here at Pete Carroll. They're all Hall of Fame coaches that you played for.
Yeah.
And
yes, sir.
What makes Parcells special and Carroll special and Belichick special?
They understand how to motivate people. And all of them have their different tactics of pushing buttons and requiring your best. Parcells, you know, he gets on guys and he'll ride you, use negative reinforcement to push you. And Bill Belichick will have everything itemized and find the best way to get the best out of you. And Pete Carroll was like Walsh from San Francisco 49ers. He was a no pass type guy, everything speed, everything positive reinforcement of motivation. And all of them work, I will say, and they, because they understand people fairly well.
I want to back up and kind of change and go back when you first got in. Now, your first rookie camp, would that have been at Seattle?
All right.
Yeah,
that was in Seattle.
What's that like walking into an environment like that as a rookie? And man, how does that really happen? Is it easy or hard?
The veteran guys aren't that fond of you because you're brought in to take their job. So there are some that'll help you, but you can feel the animosity from some guys. They're not going to try to help you take their job because, that's basically why you're there, is to replace them.
Yeah.
Every year there's a draft, and they're going to draft 7 players, and they're going to get rid of 7 guys.
Wow.
Possibly more, possibly less. But and so you just have to figure it out and get into your playbook, and learn your material, learn how to become a practice player, taking things from the classroom to the practice field. And so you have to do that very fast while consuming a lot of new information. And so the speed of the game seems like it goes up another level because everyone that's playing has been a great player before. So you're not playing against anybody that's not any good. So you have to be just that good. You have to work that hard on your trade, on your craft. And so, but you have to grow up in a very fast manner. And so, the young people that can do it have early success. And, there are some that can't get it done right away, but eventually figure it out. But some guys can't adjust to the pressure. And so, they pack up their bags and go other routes with life.
What, I guess the next question I have for you is you found your niche as the special teams player. I noticed that Belichick always keeps somebody like that on his team. He's had the Slater boy for years. I don't know if he still has him this year or not, but that we're familiar with him because his dad played at Jackson State, the great Jackie Slater, who was a All-Pro Hall of Fame offensive tackle at Jackson State back in the 70s, but the Slater boy. So do all teams kind of have that player like that, or is it just a Belichick
Well,
thing?
I believe Bill Belichick believes there's a spot on every team for one of those type players. He's like a Swiss Army knife. You do a multiple amount of things. And so wherever you play him, he's going to give you results, good results. And so by Bill Belichick, being a special teams coach early on in his career, I believe that had a lot to do with it. By his dad being a coach at Army and him watching film with the team at 10 years old, I think that had a lot to do with it. And so he believes in having athletic guys that can make plays anywhere you put them on the field, and that's where I was able to have some success. And I took a lot of pride in it, and I said, well, if that's the only place they're going to play me, I'm going to try to be the best at it. And so fortunately for me, I won the John Mackey Award for the most outstanding player in the NFL, and that was an unbelievable honor. So
Wow.
It's truly a great ride.
Well, you made if I'm not mistaken, the All-90s team at the Patriots as well?
Yeah, I'm one of the 12 all 1990 New England Patriot great players. Unbelievable, from team manager to that.
I want to we're getting short on time, but I mean, your story is phenomenal. You're obviously you stick to what you stay with it, you fight through adversity, you make it happen, and you play with heart and passion. If you were going to give some advice to some high school kids today who had aspirations of playing at the collegiate level, and then certainly at this, they're all going to want to go to the NFL. What advice, if you could give them some advice, what would you tell kids that are getting ready to try to play to get signed to play at the next level? What would you tell them?
To work on a lot of self away from the football team. Yeah. It's very, very vital to stretch while you're away from the team, sit-ups, push-ups, and reading about self-motivation. I believe that had a lot to do with it with me. The power to believe in oneself is very, very powerful. Mm. And you have to believe in yourself before anyone else can.
Wow.
And if you work on your trade very hard and you believe in yourself, nothing can be denied to you.
Man, you got me ready to run through a wall right now. I love it.
It's true, If you believe in yourself and you have that confidence in yourself, no matter whether you fail or not, you're going to continue to have that power to believe in yourself, and you're going to be successful at something. And so I always told myself this little cliche I heard: always shoot for the stars, and even if you always shoot for the moon, and even if you miss, you'll be amongst the stars.
Oh yeah.
And so
that's beautiful.
That's my motto.
Well, that's one we can all strive to take on. Dale, you got something you want to say?
Yeah. Let me ask you tell us about your Super Bowl experience, like the week leading up to the game. What's it like for these players with the Chiefs and the Eagles right now?
That was unique in itself. That was unique in itself for me because I grew up in Hattiesburg, playing at Hattiesburg High, going to Southern Miss games, going to Southern Miss practices, watching Brett Favre. My brother was a Hattiesburg High player that had went to Delta State, and he got a chance to come back and play at Southern Miss versus Brett Favre, and I got a chance to go to that game and watch it. And so to be playing in the Super Bowl versus Brett Favre it was amazing. Subway had number 25 up and Brett Favre number 4. I was like, gotta be kidding me, not me. Not the guy that was the high school team manager. Gosh. But, that was unbelievable. I had just won the AFC Player of the Game, AFC Championship Player of the Game. I blocked a punt against Jacksonville. The next play, Curtis Martin walks in for a 1-yard touchdown, and the Patriots never trailed in the AFC Championship game. Well, Desmond Howard had just got the MVP of the NFC Championship game. He took 2 returns back for a touchdown against San Francisco 49ers while he played for the Green Bay Packers, a kickoff return and a punt return. And so I don't know if that's the first time that's ever happened. The player of the game from the AFC Championship and the NFC Championship were special team guys. Yeah. And so I was, have been hyped up by the media, and Desmond Howard got the best of us. Returned another kickoff return for a touchdown, and now he talks on television for me. I'm like, wow, I was very close. Very close.
All right, last question, okay? Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
All right.
Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Right, go ahead.
He said his last question, who's going to win the Super Bowl?
I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles this year. I believe they are the more complete team with 2 of the top 5 receivers from Kansas City being out, quarterback coming off a high ankle sprain, even though he won the AFC Championship game. I just think it's Philadelphia's time. Pat Mahomes, he did a wonderful job getting his team back there after losing possibly one of the most explosive players in the NFL, Tyreek Hill, to the Miami Dolphins. So that proves how good he is. Yeah. But I think it's going to be the Eagles. But I'm proud of both teams, both guys. I think it's a good thing for football. You have 2 different styles, a passing style and a running style, competing for the championship. So I think it's good for football.
Larry, we appreciate you. We appreciate your input and everything you shared with us today and taking time to be with us. We're out of time. We're going to have to sign off. I'm fixing to do our close out here. But if you'll just hang with us, we're going to talk to you after we close the show out for a minute. So thank you for being with us as we prepare to close.
All right, no problem. Thanks a bunch, guys.
Listen, this is our time, as we said. You can follow us during the week on Facebook at the Brouhaha, and you can follow us on our YouTube channel where all of our shows are cataloged. You can listen to them on demand at the Brouhaha. But for now, we say thanks to Larry Whigham for taking time to be with us today. And you know what time it is, Dale?
Goodbye, Dale.
It's goodbye, folks, and we'll see you next week for more of the Brouhaha. Get us out of here, Jamie.
Phillips Building Supply in Laurel, your hometown building supply store since 1954. We are locally owned and pride ourselves on helping our customers find exactly what they need. From foundations to roofs to doors and windows, Phillips has it. For tools, hardware, lumber, and plywood, visit Phillips Building Supply.
You've been listening to the Brouhaha with Dale McKee and Marshall Wood. Heard Tuesday evening, 6 p.m. on WABO. For more of the Brouhaha, follow us during the week on Facebook and WABO.